Scotland has actually a remarkable tradition in building with stone. It extends for over 5,000 years. And if you look at places like the Chamber Tomb of Maze Howe in the Orkneys, it actually predates the pyramids to the extent that the sophistication in the use of the stone was really quite remarkable. Well, the tradition that we see in our workshops today basically is the same tradition that the Romans brought to us. You know, the use of the mel, the use of the chisel, the square to actually create the squared blocks, the ashlar blocks themselves. But what we then went on to develop in the Gothic era, in the medieval times, was moulding the stones at the same time. So it was a combination of creating art as part of the stone, as well as the structural capability of the square block that we're able to build such wonderful structures that we have done. We've used stone for almost 5,000 years, but over the last 100 years, we've lost sight of the need to actually gain access to it. In the past, we know there was something like 12,000 quarries across the face of Scotland that produced building stone. Today, there's about 20 of them. Stone was really hard won from the ground using a technique called plug and feathers. Essentially, that was drilling a series of holes and driving in wedges with sledgehammers to split the stone blocks out of the quarry face itself. Then came along black powder, but that had to be carefully used because there was a risk of it actually shattering the stone and making it impossible to use for building purposes. Everything we've built has either come from on the ground or below the ground. So therefore there's a correlation between the geology and the architecture. You know, take for instance the grey granite of Aberdeen and the red sandstone of Dumfriesshire or the grey sandstones of Edinburgh. The regional variations are there because of the difference in the geology. Modern-day designers think of stone as an aesthetic material. They've lost the sight of the fact that it's been used as a structural material for most of the 5,000 years of our history. So you have ideas such as the application of rain screening. For instance, a good example of that is the Museum of Scotland's Tower in Chambers Street, which historically has a reference back to the old Iron Age brochs of 2,000 years earlier, a dry stone conical structure. But I'm not sure that designers recognise the ability and the need for stone to breathe. And when the panels are so thin, the prognosis for the future is not so good in my view. It's very important to actually keep the skills and knowledge of traditional building with stone alive and true, because we have somewhat lost sight of that over the last 50 and 60 years. Unfortunately, in recent times, there's been a greater awareness of the understanding of stone and the development of training skills and educated awarenesses that are informing the professions and the craftsmen and the technologists and indeed the homeowners of what to do to look after their buildings. Recent research is suggesting that our traditional building stock across the United Kingdom will be with us for at least another 1,000 years. Now that's a good lifespan, and it's good value for money, it's economic sense, it's environmentally the right thing to do. One of the things that we're aware of, or increasingly become aware of, is the embodied energy that exists within buildings. And the recognition that we're throwing this away when we demolish what we call a traditionally built structure is slowly beginning to dawn. That in actual fact, the energy, the environmental gain of keeping that structure should be more to the forefront than it has been in the past.